I guess just being in a smaller environment filled with kids that were pretty much like me really helped a lot. My first day I was very nervous, but literally it all went away. Because the very first day, the boy that was sitting next to me, and I'm not gonna name him because, don't really need to, but he basically became my best friend and followed me all through my senior year of high school. I will never forget the first thing he said to me. Not a hi, not a hello. It was just, because I had braces at the time and so did he. He was just like, "Who's your orthodontist?" And I was like, and I didn't even know what to say. But after that moment, that just kind of clicked. So I am diagnosed with high functioning autism, and I basically, in a way, what that meant for me, because autism, I've been doing research about it, and autism is very different. It's for each individual. And for me, that just meant that I was behind socially. I was not as keen to going into social situations, and boy, has that changed now.
We had it successfully do when we clicked the flag, and in the if statement, if mouse down, then we had it create a clone of the laser. Does anyone remember why we had to do that instead of just doing the show?
So I've been coding and developing video games as long as I can possibly remember. I think I first started doing that when I was in the 5th grade, and it was after we discovered this program called Scratch developed by MIT, which is actually the program that I use to teach Concord some of the middle school students, because although it is not, you're not writing each line of code, you are learning the fundamentals of the logic that it takes to do programming. And I genuinely believe that kids can get a lot out of programming, especially when you do it young, because it teaches you vital problem-solving skills and a lot of troubleshooting skills. For example, I once spent 3 hours looking for one particular error in my code when I was developing a project called Dragon Acres, which is the project that I'm currently working on, and that I hope to release to console next year. It's been kind of, what's the word, hard, but it's something that I've been working on for a long time. I was trying to think of a way to say that Concord, my mom basically had it planned out for me to go to Concord by the time I was in the 1st grade. She was choosing for me to go to this school. And she did that because she thought I would love it, because it was a smaller environment. Growing up, I was in larger school settings, in classrooms full of 30 people, and I'm gonna be honest, I was, bullied a lot in school growing up, because I was, at the time, I've caught up since, but at the time I was pretty developmentally delayed. I was probably operating, in middle school I was probably operating on maybe an 8-year-old's level, if that makes sense. Not academically, but socially. So I feel like Concord really helped with keeping me in a safer environment, while I sort of caught up into who I needed to be, if that makes sense. So I guess my advice is, don't think of autism as a crutch. There are situations where it could definitely, it's something that you're gonna have for the rest of your life, but there are ways to, I guess, get around it. And also, don't think of it as a label. When you have autism, it doesn't mean that the world is giving you a label. It means that, if anything, that label is actually going to help you, because you know who you are. I didn't know that I had autism until I was about 15, and that's because I started asking questions about why I was put into Concord, because I didn't think I had a disability. because I didn't think of it that way. But my mom finally told me, and she told me why I didn't know about it. It's because she wanted me to feel like I was like everybody else. She didn't want me to feel like I was different. However, deep down I did know that there was something missing, and you know, when you know that you have it, it's easier to get past it. Like if it's hidden from you, then you're basically hiding an entire part of your life that you can't, you know, if you don't understand who you are, then you can't learn from those things that you're gonna have, those, like I said, quirks, or I don't really know how to explain that, but it's very, autism is something that is different for each individual, but it's something that you can and will get past. I mean, you'll always have autism, but you'll be able to, as you get older and learn a little bit how to, you can find situations to where you can find, you can find ways to get...
To adapt?
To adapt, yes, thank you.